Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Rob Melillo. And the one question that has driven me my whole career is this: what is actually happening in the brain of someone with a neurobehavioral disorder of any kind? And the second question that drives me is, what's the primary root cause of most mental, physical, and emotional disorders? The big answer is the same: the brain. The thing is, to actually understand what the root problem is and to address it, you have to actually be able to identify exactly what areas are dysfunctional. Once you do that, you need to know how to assess and restore function in those areas. To do all that, you need an advanced understanding of functional neuroanatomy. I'll tell you how you can do that in a moment. I'm Dr. Robert Melillo, and I've been helping children overcome learning disabilities for over 30 years. I've also created the Melillo method, which is a method of treating imbalances in the brain in both adults and children. I'm the author of several best-selling books, including Disconnected Kids, Reconnected Kids, Disconnected Kids Nutrition Plan, and Autism: The Scientific Truth. My areas of expertise include autism spectrum disorders, PDD, NOS, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, Asperger's, Tourette's, bipolar, and other mental, attention, behavioral, and learning disorders. I'm also an expert in physical medicine and in diet, nutrition, and neuroimmune disorders in children and adults. I've spent the last 2 years creating an exciting new course called Advanced Clinical Functional Neuroanatomy, which I believe is the most advanced functional clinical neuroanatomy program ever developed. I'm thrilled and overjoyed to announce that now you can access this revolutionary course material right online. You can log in from anywhere in the world, at any time, on any device, and watch the video training and download the accompanying materials and notes. This course is ideal for all who are in the profession for understanding of neuroanatomy. That includes chiropractors, medical doctors, mental health professionals, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and healthcare professionals who want to take their knowledge to a new level and learn the latest thinking in this increasingly important area. The focus on timing, coordination, and synchronization of networks is where the primary focus of functional connectivity research and treatment is all going. It is the future. All mental health, education, and most physical health issues are being shown to be all a result of abnormal functional connectivity that primarily starts during development. There have been an increased focus on functional connectivity and its relationship to hemispheric integration. Recently, research publications and mainstream books have had huge success focusing on lack of hemisphere integration and brain asymmetry as a root cause of most mental health issues. Therefore, to provide the most advanced treatment, a neurotherapy provider must have the most complete understanding of the neuroanatomy and function of the brain and how to functionally measure and treat each area. You can learn from me in this area without having to travel to a conference center, saving time, cost of travel, and you get the lessons to access for years to come. This course can be a precursor to, along with, or after my fellowship course in clinical neurodevelopmental disorders. They are very different courses that are designed to be taken separately, but yet perfectly complement one another. The other thing to note for healthcare professionals is that Diplomate CE hours will be available for all modules taken. Here's a fraction of what the program includes. Module 1, we go through functional neuroanatomy of the cortex, including the 6 layers of the human brain, the various lobes of the brain, including the limbic lobe and the prefrontal cortex. I also introduce a whole new and expanded model of hemisphere cognitive styles and functions based on neuroanatomy of the brain. I've created 6 different functional neuroanatomy areas in the right hemisphere and 6 in the left. This will be related to different strengths and weaknesses related to neuroanatomy and functional imbalances, and will also relate to specific conditions, allowing better location for diagnosis and treatment. This takes my hemispheric model to a whole new level. And we will be reviewing in all of this the neuroanatomy of Broadman areas. The Broadman areas are approximately 45 areas in the brain on either hemisphere. And when we talk about localizing and functional neuroanatomy, right now, this is the standard. This is the future. And by the end of this, I promise you, by the end of this model, you will pretty much have memorized all of these Broadman areas, where they are and what specific gyri they are related to. In Module 2, we continue in great detail to discuss the functional neurophysiology and neuropathology of each Broadman area, and area focusing on location, function, lateralization, and the relationship to specific functions, functional deficits, clinical symptoms, syndromes, and specific localizing findings. I have taken Broadman areas and have broken them out into great detail of the functions of each Broadman area in the right and the left hemisphere. Nobody has ever done that before. They've generalized it and assumed that both sides do almost the same function or group them all together. I've broken them down, and we have over 1,000 different right brain functions and 1,000 different left brain functions in 45 different areas. Module 3, we continue with functional neuroanatomy and neurophysiology of the cortex and Broadman areas, but now connecting the cortex to the rest of the brain, including the brainstem, cerebellum, basal ganglia, and especially the thalamus. We also review functional networks in the brain that are made up of specific Broadman areas and subcortical connections, networks like salience network, default mode network, central executive network, somatomotor network, the limbic network. All of these networks are also responsible for specific functions in the brain and specific neuropathologies. We will discuss the afferent and efferent connections to all of these locations. In Module 4, now we really put all of this into a clinical context. This module is about how do we functionally measure all of these areas and connections in a clinical exam. The purpose is to give you both specific localizing signs and how you may also specifically treat and improve function in each specific area. The ultimate treatment model is based on functional neuroanatomy to localize a specific disorder or symptom to a particular Broadman area, functional network, or subcortical area, and to specifically target these areas with a combination of treatment modalities and functionally measure their improvement. Lastly, Module 5, we attempt to put all of this functional neuroanatomy and clinical information into a complete clinical model. We put the whole functional system together and review systems neuroscience, graph theory, tensiometry, complexity theory. We're going to take all of this and really look at the functional connections and really break down all of these Broadman areas even more specifically, and what they do on either side of the brain, and how imbalance between these areas actually produce different symptoms or combinations of symptoms that are unique. Because as I've said, I've created 6 different right brain areas that are primary functions and cognitive styles and personality traits, and 6 on the left. And the combination of strengths and weaknesses in these areas really speaks to almost any symptom that you may see in any condition, even things like autonomic dysfunction, digestive dysfunction, immune dysfunction, which are regulated by specific Broadman areas and differently on the right and left side of the brain. The course comprises shorter videos, which means you can either binge the whole course or learn in smaller chunks, and the intuitive learning system will remember where you left off. Click the button below to buy either a single module or save money by purchasing the whole program in one. The best place to start, though, is Module 1. No matter what level you're currently at, that ensures you have the best background and understanding of all the concepts and materials for the other modules. After you completed Module 1, you can buy any of the modules, but we recommend you take the whole program in sequence for the best experience. Listen, the best marketing tool is results. I believe this is the most advanced clinical model ever created, and I also know that this is the future of healthcare. By taking this course, I guarantee you will become one of the best healthcare providers in the world, and I also know that this will take your practice or business to the next level of financial success. As I've always said, money is simply a measure of the value you are adding to the world. With the knowledge I give you in this course, the value you add to the world will be huge, and so will what you will receive in return and the impact that you will make on the world. So click the button below, and we look forward to welcoming you into the program and helping you on your journey into clinical functional neuroanatomy.